Omaha, Nebraska offers a high quality of life and is a great place to raise a family. The people of Omaha are friendly and the local economy is strong. However, what about the weather and the sky-high property taxes? Is moving to Omaha, Nebraska really worth it? Today we're going to look at the good, the bad, and the ugly as we look at the top 5 pros and cons of living in Omaha, Nebraska. Let's start with the cons, the weather. The weather in Omaha, Nebraska is at best unpredictable. There's a saying that goes like this: if you don't like the weather, just wait 24 hours because it'll change. And in Omaha, we have all 4 seasons. Now, sometimes we have all 4 seasons in a week. We have cold and snowy winters, and we have hot, humid summers. In the spring and early summer, we have thunderstorms. Thunderstorms can produce strong winds, flash flooding, hail, and tornadoes. In April of 2024, we had an EF4 tornado that impacted the communities of Waterloo, Elkhorn, Bennington, and Blair, Nebraska. Almost all of the homes in the Omaha area usually have a basement. If severe weather strikes, you could have a tornado watch or a tornado warning. A watch means all the conditions are present for a tornado, and a tornado warning means to take shelter immediately. Even though you're supposed to take shelter, don't be surprised if you see a long-term Omaha resident go outside and start chatting with their neighbor when the sirens are blaring. The severe weather tends to move from west to east. They usually issue watches and warnings based on the county you're in. If you hear the sirens, then you should take cover. Be advised, they do monthly tests on the sirens, so don't get alarmed if you hear the sirens on the first Wednesday of the month at 11 a.m. Testing is weather permitting. They do not do the tests if threatening weather exists. If you move to Omaha, be prepared for higher than average homeowner insurance rates. Another byproduct of the thunderstorms is flash flooding and hail. The hail causes damage to our roofs. It's hit and miss. You can have golf ball size hail at one spot and nothing just a few blocks away. It's not if you'll have hail damage, it's just a matter of when. Even if you're buying a new home, it's a good idea to have an inspection and have someone take a look at that roof. The roof may be only a couple of months old, but you could already have hail damage to the roof. Hail damage doesn't mean the roof starts leaking immediately. You can have damage, yet no leaking. If you suspect hail damage, don't call your insurance company. Your first call should be to a local trusted roofer. Have the roofer examine the roof. If the roofer finds damage, then call your insurance company to file a claim. Thunderstorms also produce flash flooding. We get some crazy amounts of rain. Around Omaha, you're going to see many dam site lakes around the Papio Creek Basin. This is an attempt to control flooding. These lakes are nice for recreation, and we do have a trail system along the Papio Creek and around many of the dam site lakes. We have had flooding along the Missouri River and along the Platte River as well. If you purchase a home in a flood zone, which will require flood insurance, be ready because that insurance payment is very steep. Winters are cold. Sometimes it's really cold. And if it's not snowy, it can be very gray and depressing and brown. Spring and summer can be very green. Winter is gray, brown, and everything is dead. It also, in the wintertime, gets dark really early. For example, in late December, you'll drive home at 5 p.m. and it'll be nighttime. Speaking of winter, we have cycles of freezing and thawing. This causes significant damage to our roads. In the springtime, this usually means potholes. Many people say Omaha has really 2 seasons, winter and road construction. Many of our roads are constantly being redone. Finally, Omaha is very windy overall. There's no natural barriers, so even if the weather is nice, it can be extremely windy. Let's talk con number 2, taxes. Nebraska may be a red state, but you're going to be taxed like you're in a blue state. Our home prices may be affordable compared to many other states, but when you peel back the onion and look at the overall picture, we may not be as affordable as people think. Now, our property taxes are high. For example, 16518 Mason Street is a home I just sold in September of 2024. It sold for $586,000. The property taxes for 2023 were $7,800 for the year. And just so you know, our property taxes in Douglas and Sarpy County are paid in arrears, which means we pay 2023 taxes in 2024. I get this question a lot, and that is there a homestead exemption? And the answer is yes. For qualified senior citizens, veterans with 100% service-connected disability, and disabled individuals can apply for a homestead exemption. Our home prices are fairly reasonable, but our high property taxes and our higher than average homeowner insurance can really increase your monthly payment. If you're moving to Omaha, be sure to calculate your taxes and insurance into your budget. We have a state sales tax of 5.5%. Many cities have a sales tax too. For example, in Omaha, we have a 1.5% city sales tax. That means the sales tax in Omaha is 7%. Licensing your car is expensive too. We have a motor vehicle tax based on the age of your car. We have a motor vehicle fee, which is based upon the value, weight, and use and is adjusted as the vehicle ages. And by the way, if you buy that new car, be ready to pay a sales tax on that new car when you go to the DMV to get your plates. Now, Omaha has lots of great restaurants. We also tax you when you dine out. In Omaha, we have a 2.5% tax on prepared food. On the positive side, we have lots of great places to eat. So when you dine out, there's a 5.5% state sales tax, a 1.5% city sales tax, and a 2.5% restaurant tax. We do not tax prescription drugs, and we do not tax groceries either. What about Social Security benefits? Nebraska used to tax Social Security benefits. However, in 2024, Governor 𝗙𝗏 signed a bill for a full tax exemption for Social Security benefits. We have a graduated state income tax as well. The current tax bracket for January of 2024 is 2.46 to 5.84%. Good news, the tax brackets are going down. In 2025, the top bracket is going to drop to 5.2%. In 2026, the top bracket is going to drop to 4.55%. And in 2027, the top bracket is set to drop to 3.99%. Long story short, Nebraska is not a tax-friendly state, but we are showing signs of improvement. Con number 3 is limited public transportation. Omaha is a city where you'll need a car. Our public transportation system is improving, but we have plenty of room for improvement. We do have the Metro bus system, which serves the Omaha area and the surrounding communities. You can buy a 30-day bus pass with unlimited rides for $55 a month. If you attend Creighton University, you can use your J-Card ID to ride any Metro bus or the Orbit for free. Same thing applies to the University of Nebraska at Omaha. You can use your MAV card as a bus pass for any Metro bus or Orbit. Orbit stands for Omaha Rapid Bus Transport. Orbit is an orange articulated bus system that operates along the Dodge Street corridor. The Orbit buses are equipped with bike racks, so if you want to bike and ride, you can do so with the Metro bus and with Orbit. Unfortunately, the bus system does not cover the entire city equally. You'll have better access to bus service the closer you are to downtown and in North and South Omaha. Another exciting development is the Omaha streetcar. Now, not everybody's a fan of the streetcar, but the streetcar will operate from the riverfront to Nebraska Medicine along Farnham Street. The streetcar construction will begin in 2025, and the plan calls for the streetcar to be in service in late 227 or early 228. The cost to ride the streetcar is free for those who work at Mutual of Omaha, Nebraska Medicine, or live downtown. This should make going without a car much more feasible. Con number 4 are going to be environmental concerns. Now let's first talk about lead-based paint. There's no safe level of lead in your blood. What does lead do? Lead causes slower growth, lower IQ, and learning disabilities in children. How do you test for lead in children? A blood test is the only way to test for lead in a child, and lead has the largest impact on children under the age of 6. Many people may not realize, but before 1978, paint used in homes contained lead. The problem is that the paint, as it ages and starts to peel and chip, it becomes aerosolized. The lead is then in the dust and in the form of paint chips. This lead paint is sweet to the taste, and these little kids will get that on their hands, put their hands in the mouth, and now they're contaminated with lead. If you're selling your home, FHA, one of the frequent items called out is chipped and peeling paint, and this is because it's a safety hazard. If you're selling your home and the buyer is obtaining FHA financing, the chipped paint has to be addressed before closing. For any home built before 1978, as a buyer, you'll need to sign a lead-based paint disclosure. Now let's talk about lead in the soil. Today, when you visit downtown Omaha near the CHI Health Convention Center and the Lewis and Clark Landing, you'll see a beautiful revitalized park. There's the Bob Carey Bridge and the new STEM museum, the Luminarium. However, what many people may not realize is that 30 years ago, all of that was part of the Arsarco lead smelting plant. This was a lead refining plant that operated for over 125 years. This plant contaminated much of the soil in the eastern part of Omaha. In the late 1990s, the EPA designated this area the largest lead Superfund area in the country. Over the past 20 years, the EPA has been working to complete the cleanup. Part of this cleanup is testing the soil and replacing the soil if lead levels were found to be high. If you purchase a home in this area, you'll need to sign a lead site disclosure. One website you can use to see if a home has had any work done of any kind is omahalead.org. You can see the test results, the letters from the EPA, and what actions have been taken. Let's shift gears and talk about radon. Radon is a cancer-causing, naturally occurring radioactive gas that you can't see, smell, or taste. Radon is the leading cause of lung cancer among non-smokers and claims 20,000 lives each year. More than half of the homes tested in the state of Nebraska are above the action level of 4.0 picocuries per liter. At the time of the recording of this video, when you purchase a home in the Omaha area, you have a 14-day window to conduct any and all inspections. This can include a whole house inspection, a sewer scope inspection, a structural engineer inspection, and a radon test. A radon test costs around $200, and the test is done over a period of time. The radon test samples the air every hour over a 2 to 3 day time period. At the end of the test, you'll receive an average reading. If the average is above 4.0 picocuries per liter, you can ask the seller to install a radon mitigation system. A radon mitigation system is a 6-inch PVC pipe that is sealed under the concrete slab in the basement. A fan is attached to this pipe, and the fan creates negative pressure to suck the radon through the pipe instead of throughout the home. The cost to install a radon mitigation system varies. However, you might want to budget for around $2,000. If you're buying new construction, any home built after September 1st, 2019 is required to have a passive radon mitigation system. A passive system is basically the tube without the fan. Con number 5, Omaha is isolated. In some ways, this is a pro. Omaha is an isolated city. Omaha is the largest city in Nebraska. Omaha itself has a population of just under 500,000 people. The entire metro area has a population of just under 1 million. The next largest city in the state of Nebraska is the capital city of Lincoln. Lincoln is about 45 minutes away on Interstate 80, and Lincoln has a population of just under 300,000. Now, the next largest city near Omaha is Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City is about 3 hours away, or about 185 miles south on I-29. Denver is about 8 hours away. Minneapolis is about 7.5 hours away. And Chicago is about 8 hours away. Another complaint used to be Eppley Airfield. Now, Eppley Airfield is currently undergoing a $950 million expansion, which will now include 2 gates for international flights. Now let's talk about the pros. Number one being the people. I think I might be biased because I think our people is one of the biggest pros. People from the Midwest are hardworking, honest, and have a strong work ethic. Many businesses like to relocate to our area because of our quality education system, great access to healthcare, a high quality of life, and a well-educated and hardworking workforce. Sometimes Omaha feels like a giant small town. People complain about Omaha. We complain about the weather and the taxes. Anywhere you go, the weather will probably not be so great. Yeah, taxes are high, but I would rather live in Omaha than, let's say, crazy California. People are nice. Now, do we have crime? Yes. You would be surprised at the number of people who move away only to find out how crazy it is somewhere else where they like to come on back. Number two are going to be job opportunities. Omaha has a variety of job opportunities. Omaha is home to 4 Fortune 500 companies. We're home to Mutual of Omaha, Kiewit Corporation, Union Pacific, and Berkshire Hathaway. Just south of Omaha in Bellevue, we have Offutt Air Force Base. Offutt is home to the 55th Wing of the Air Combat Command and the 557th Weather Wing. Offutt is also headquarters for the U.S. Strategic Command. Omaha has jobs in education, financial services, transportation, healthcare, manufacturing, and technology. Our economy is diverse and we have a business-friendly environment. In fact, both Google and Facebook, or Meta, opened 2 massive data centers in both Douglas and Sarpy counties. Our unemployment rate is consistently below the national unemployment rate. Because of our stable economy, we handle economic downturns in stride. There's a saying that goes that we don't get invited to the party, so we don't get the hangover. According to Mercatus Center, Nebraska was rated as one of the best states to withstand a recession. Even during the great financial crisis, our home prices stayed relatively flat. We saw a slight dip in home prices, and we had plenty of inventory, and homes took longer to sell. But we didn't see anywhere near the crash that you saw in places like Phoenix and Las Vegas. Number 3, let's talk about education. Omaha is known as a great place to raise a family. One of the reasons why is our education system. If you're moving to Omaha, you need to do your homework. Not all schools are created equal. And every family is going to have different needs. Is your child into music? Are they into sports? Or are you looking for academic programs? The Omaha real estate market is a school district-driven market. People make real estate decisions based on school districts. With all the growth in Southwest Omaha, new schools are being built. That means these new schools coming online affect the current boundaries and the school district boundaries. And these boundaries can change. If you move to the Omaha area, be sure to verify the school if that school or school district is important in your decision to purchase. One good resource to use as a starting point to do research on different schools and school districts is the Nebraska Education Profile website, www.nep.education.ne.gov. You can look at graduation rates, test scores, and more. It's not the end-all be-all, but it serves as a good starting point. Omaha also has a great post-secondary school system. We have the University of Nebraska at Omaha, the Mavericks, and we have Creighton University, home of the Creighton Blue Jays. Omaha has a strong community college education system, Metro Community College with multiple campuses throughout the Omaha Metro. For those interested in a career in medicine, we have Nebraska Medicine, which is Nebraska's only level 1 trauma unit and one of the best medical facilities in the nation. So if you need great access to healthcare, Omaha's for you. Number 5 is the overall quality of life and things to do. According to Forbes.com, in 2024, Omaha, Nebraska was ranked as the number 1 best city to move to in 2024. Why? Well, we have a high-quality public education system. We have plenty of family-friendly activities, a quality secondary education system, and the people, for the most part, are friendly and welcoming, and we have a good economic outlook as well. When you visit some of these larger cities, you see people zoned out on drugs or people living in tents in park. Now, do we have some of that? Sure, but it's nothing compared to what you see in larger metropolitan areas. Now, do we have crime? Yes. We're just like any other mid-sized city. Omaha is also a very philanthropic community. You see Omaha working to tackle issues like homelessness head on. For example, the Sienna Francis House recently developed a tiny house community near 16th and Clark to help alleviate overcrowding at the Sienna Francis House. Omaha has lots of family-friendly activities. We have one of the best zoos in the world, the Omaha Henry Dorley Zoo and Aquarium. There's the brand new Jean Leahy Mall, the riverfront, and Lewis and Clark Landing Park. Next to Lewis and Clark Landing, there's the Omaha New STEM Museum. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. That's the Luminarium. We have the Bob Carey Pedestrian Bridge, which is a 3,000-foot suspension bridge which enables you to walk across the Missouri River. Starting in October of 2024, we will have the Baby Bob Bridge, which will connect the CHI Convention Center to the Bob Carey Pedestrian Bridge. If you're into history, there's the Omaha-Durham Museum, which is in the historic Union Station, which is an incredible Art Deco building from the 1930s. Omaha's Old Market has plenty of shops, restaurants, and bars. Omaha has the newly renovated Joslyn Art Museum, Kaneko, and the Hot Shops, if art is your thing. We have the historic Orpheum Theater, if you'd like to catch a show. For kids, there's the Rose Theater, named after one of Omaha's famed business leaders, Rose Blumkin, who was the founder of the Nebraska Furniture Mart. If you like the outdoors, there's the Fontenelle Forest, which is just south of Omaha. If you like historic homes, you can visit the General Crook House, the Jocelyn Castle, or just across the river, the General Dodge House. Just southwest of Omaha, you can visit the Strategic Air and Space Museum, the Wildlife Safari Park, or Cloisters on the Platte. We have lots of great neighborhoods and suburbs. There we have Exarban, which is Nebraska spelled backwards. There's Dundee, Benson, the Blackstone District, Florence, North and South Omaha.